unfortunately, the appellants have not hinted that.
Is something circulating in the media?
Yes, yes. In fact, on an even more alarming rate. And this is directly attributed to the first appellant, Save Lamu. And perhaps to another extent, and which is more worrying, and you have gotten the documents, I wouldn't even want to take on that, is especially the conduct of the press. In fact, there is one of the, the comments which were made, which I found to me to be a sort of an attack, a direct attack on the tribunal's directions, more like, daring the tribunal.
What was that, Cousin?
There is a, I'll just bring this today. I didn't want to get all this out, but we got them on a short notice. But you'll notice they're all under the Twitter handle of Save Lamu, the appellants. Last time they said there is one which really comes to me considerable concern. It's a tweet by the same party, Prince Papa, and he's here. And he says in his tweet on the day we appeared, when the matter was going on, that Lamu Power stop being scared of live streaming. Kenyans need to know the truth, as there will be consequences. Why I took this particularly seriously is that was a direct response to the tribunal's directions that no live streaming should be handled. Now, when the tribunal has made an order, somebody derisively goes at the press and says, hey, why are you afraid? Isn't that a challenge the tribunal itself? They have kept commenting subsequently to that on these matters before the tribunal. And Your Honors, I think, with respect, the tribunal has powers. It shouldn't be, let it, perhaps you can just, for the record, just like the other time. Because, Mr. Oneki, sorry, I have to appear ambushed by these other streets. If you go through all those, the tweets, the thing, and the dates this has been done, it's being done subsequently to the tribunal's direction. To me, it would appear that the appellants are not taking the tribunal seriously. That you make directives, you issue orders, and they think that the tribunal has the teeth to bite, and they keep doing this. This campaign has had the effect of literally trying to scare off partners to this project. We are not being presumptuous to say the project will go on. We have resisted, we haven't been commented on anything regarding this project. But what they have done is to make negative comments, and right now the whole thing is trending. Negative comments about the project when the matters being raised are before the tribunal. The tribunal has the jurisdiction and the power to deal with what is there. So that if you then go and try the matters before the tribunal, in what we can euphemistically refer to as the court of public opinion, then you undermine the very integrity and standing of the tribunal. Remember the last time the comments that some of the issues we brought to your attention were more about almost casting aspersions on the likelihood of impartiality on the part of the tribunal. Now, if this goes on, the effect is that they are going against the tribunal and due process. And that is our concern. That I think the tribunal needs to really come out firmly and stop Save Lamu from further commenting on this matter until the matter is heard and determined. I think this negative campaign needs to stop, and the buck rests with the appellants who have persisted in doing this.
I'm not able to respond to this. I think it might be fair for Mr. Masika to file a formal application if he has any concern, because he's just handed me this. I don't know what this is. I've not been interacting with the social media myself, so even from a personal knowledge point of view, I will not be able to respond, and it would be unfair for me to try and respond to the facts. But I also would just we are happy to address a formal application if one gets filed. But I would also just say two things that may inform the tribunal in terms of the need to make a formal application. The first one is that this is not just a Save Lamu matter, it's a public interest matter. If Mr. Masika wants a gagging order against every Kenyan, that may not even stop that, because there is also international interest in this. And just those gagging orders then would have to be extreme, because I've seen even the president commenting on this. So are we going to be gagging the president? The president has been entering into financial concession that's being reported. Is that not prejudicial to the appellants, to the extent that the president seems to be thumping his chest and saying, I'm going to sign this financial concession whether the matter is proceeding? If we take it the way Mr. Masika is proposing, it's just going to be messy. And again, I think it's also, I'm not sure that this is useful. I think that's what I'm saying. But if Mr. Masika thinks it's useful, let him file a formal application, then we respond. And I don't also think it's useful for Mr. Masika also to say that people are ganging up against the tribunal. The tribunal is independent, whether comments are made or not. So for me, I'm not in a position to respond to the substantive application. I'm happy to respond to one on the 19th, if there is one, so that we have time to study the nature of the application and the evidence that will be provided. But I would also say to the tribunal, it should look, even in thinking whether to invite Mr. Masika to make a formal application, whether this is an efficient way to be proceeding. That's all I'll say from you.
Mrs. Kifinji.
Your Honor, perhaps just a brief response to my friend's comments. That my application follows the clear directions issued by the tribunal on 29th. It's actually on record. And it is, I was very deliberate when I refer to the parties, but the parties to these proceedings. What I have provided is actually comments by the party, the appellants themselves. That's even worse. They have chosen to come to the tribunal, but they choose to try the matter outside the tribunal, which to me is actually an issue that goes to the heart of the integrity of the process. They're compromising the integrity of the process. The last time we had an opportunity to say, are we going to gag everybody? There were comments by Lamu and Social. I said, no, we're not doing that. We are more concerned about the parties who are here and who are defined. There is several. For instance, to be honest, if you were to see comments by Amu Power about this in the press, it would be very
with respect, just say something as an objection, Madam Chair.
Yes.
He's addressing the right. We'll need time. We don't even know who these people are until we have time, because in this day and age, we cannot really just get a document and say this is so long.
I think that let us handle his request or his application, if you will, as presented. We will give you a ruling. We'll give you a ruling on the 19th in the morning. Let's handle it as it is.
Okay.
Because if we allow him time to file a written application, it's going to eat into our hearing time. So let's handle the application as presented.
Can I then be, because we would want to respond. I'm being, for example, one of the indications is a Prince Papa. How do we, that's the evidence.
Who is Prince Papa, by the way?
And even if there is a Prince Papa,
how is
Prince
here?
Papa
the picture is clear. I think it needs to be behind.
But how do we know that they are Save Lamu? So
There are several pictures here.
Yes.
You can
you
see
can't.
I indicated the last time, Your Honors, that this is the same gentleman who was taking pictures in Lamu.
yes.
So now he has stepped from the podium of taking pictures, and this is the same press. I even don't know what kind of press they are.
Give
This
us
is the same.
time to scrutinize these
Yes.
documents. We'll give you a ruling.
And perhaps the issue,
And
as
we
you
would
consider,
want time to respond.
yes, you might consider
Yes.
perhaps now placing a gag order to this particular press. I don't know what press it is, because clearly they are the same people who are behind this. They are the same people who have been behind the live stream. So what media is it? They are here with cameras. You stop live streaming, they go comment, hey, why are you afraid of live streaming? Surely, there has to be some limits.
Give us time to scrutinize the documents.
And may I just say that even assuming there is merit in what Mr. Masika is saying, there might even be constitutional consideration. So when you come with a gagging, gagging is not a simple thing. You come with a gagging application and you think it will just, it should be dealt with casually. We are talking about constitutional rights at the minimum, even assuming that the allegations have any merit. But anyway, my application, and it's an application, is to the extent that the tribunal wishes to entertain this, either in the form of oral application or written application, we would request for time to file a response. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Okay, I can continue being vigilant for this matter, and anytime they come out with
Council,
interpretation.
Council, let us respond to Mr. Masika's application as
Yes.
presented. We would not like any of the time we have allocated for hearing of the appeal to be spent on any additional work. So let's respond to the application as presented. We'll give you an order. You have had a chance to respond. We'll give you
I don't.
decision on 19th.
So maybe if you're really considering it and this is the only chance I have to respond, then I would want to respond. Because I didn't respond to the application.
You did.
I didn't. I responded. I indicated the constraints I have in
Even
respect
that-
of.
That is a response.
Then I would want the record just to indicate that I've just been presented
That is
with a
recorded.
document.
It is recorded.
The allegations that have been made, I've made specific requests to be granted opportunity to scrutinize what has been presented, to verify the veracity of what is presented, and to be able to provide a response.
That's
And
duly
that is the
recorded.
extent of my submissions to.
It's recorded. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's meet on the 19th of June at 9 o'clock. We will do our best to find adequate space, but should we fail, we will all meet here.
Most welcome.
Thank you very much.